Hey everybody, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me for my comic book review for this week in February 2013. I apologize for being so late. I had a really busy weekend. Friday I was out of town. Saturday I had a lot of things I had to take care of, and unfortunately I was not able to join everybody for a live segment for Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, and to all the people up there at Dark Avenger Inc. Plus who were expecting me to show up for the live show, I deeply apologize. I'm so sorry. Just got my weekend wrapped up. Finally got all my comics read. I wasn't able to even finish reading my comic books until here just recently this morning. So I really do apologize for being so far behind. And for those of you who do follow me on Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, check out the last video I did for Inc. Plus, and that was a review of Savage Wolverine #2. Go look for that on Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. Check it out and let me know what you thought. I got 2 more videos that I want to do for Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. I want to do a topic video, and I would like to do another mission. I'd like to do another mission. So, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna give any hints or nothing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And please subscribe to the Dark Avenger Inc. channel. I'll put the links in the description, as well as Dark Avenger Inc. and their Facebook page. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. Also, Blugoblin X. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's get to the books. I'm going to start with Independent, go through Marvel, and then end with DC. This was a really good week for comic books, in my opinion. Really good week. We're going to start with IDW. We're going to start with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 19. Get a look at that. I love that cover. Look at Raph right here in the middle. My favorite turtle right here in the middle. Looking badass as ever. I love it. Yeah, Raph's my favorite turtle. Kevin Eastman, still, thank you so much for this series. This is still consistently staying really good. This is the continuation of the story involving the turtles with the neutrinos on their planet in Dimension X and their ordeal with Krang. Now, what I find real interesting in here is in this particular series of the Turtles, they're just now learning who Krang is. They're getting his backstory and they're learning about who he is. They haven't really necessarily come face to face against Krang as of yet. Minor spoiler there. But this is really well done. And I mean, God, I look at the neutrinos in this book. This is how I wanted the neutrinos in the cartoon. Jesus, I loved this. You know, I don't mind the neutrinos, being young rebels. But when the cartoon made them, bubblegum rockabilly hipsters who used dead sling and dead lingo, it just, easily my least favorite characters of the old classic cartoon series. But this is the way I like the neutrinos. I love these neutrinos. Everybody's rough, and it's just really refreshing to see these characters done right. Nice, very nice. They're rebels, they're young, but they're living in a tortured world, and it really shows. We get some great comedy from Mikey. The action is really good. I love how the turtles and the neutrinos, they don't exactly get along. They do butt heads on certain things, and that's also refreshing. It's nice to see that they're not easily getting along like this and this and this and this. They don't always see eye to eye when it comes to strategy or battle tactics or something like that. And this has just been consistently good. I don't really. But what I will give this issue even more credit for is that it knew the right time to cut. It ended on a cliffhanger at the right moment. End it at the moment where you know the reader's gonna want more. It's like the end, the cliffhanger happens, and you're like, no, I want to see what happens. Excellent stuff. Kevin Eastman and Mr. Waltz, I gotta say, just phenomenal stuff. Easily one of IDW's best series. This is probably the only one I read, so who am I to judge? And another thing I will give credit for, the artwork in here is perhaps the best artwork I've ever seen in this series. This is just great. I loved this issue. If you're on board with this series, please make sure you didn't miss out on it. Get this book. If you can find it, it is really good. Alright, we're on to Marvel. We're going to start Marvel off with Captain Marvel number 10. Kelly Sue DeConnick. Yeah, still loving your writing. The writing in here is fantastic. But y'all know me, guys. I'm brutally honest. I do not like the artwork in here. I do not like it at all. The artwork in here, the interior art. Why couldn't the cover artist do the interior art? For Christ's sake, the interior art is hideous. Just hideous. I don't like it. I mean, but then again, I have seen worse. As bad as the artwork is, the storytelling is what saves it. It is good. Carol just, she's been told the bad news. She's got something wrong with her brain, and she can't fly. Well, she can fly, but the doctors advise against it. If she's going to be saving the world, she has to do it with her feet on the ground. They do not advise her to fly because if she starts flying again, it's going to mess up her brain, and it could actually kill her. But Carol, hard-headedly, is not buying it. She's just like, the doctors are wrong. My DNA is infused with Kree DNA. It's like, they can't possibly know everything about my physiology. They can't, And everybody who's close to Carol, who can get in touch with her, is telling her, like, Carol might not want to take the chance. As a matter of fact, might want to get a second opinion. Go to another doctor. See if they say the exact same thing the other doctors say. But Carol comes off really hard-headed in this issue. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. She cares more about helping people than she does about helping herself. That's what I got from this issue. It's like she could easily go to another doctor and see if she can get some help. But why bother? Really, why bother? She has to do her mission. She has to, figure things out for herself. And it's just great storytelling and a damn jaw-dropping cliffhanger. Loved it. The artwork is hideous, but the good storytelling saves it. I really enjoyed it. Alright, pick of the week here. Pick of the week. Oh boy. The Superior Spider-Man number 4. Where the hell do I begin? Okay, I'm sure everybody already knows what the big deal about this particular book is. I'm guilty of doing this myself. As soon as I read this book, I myself, probably just like a lot of other fans, all just blared all over the internet about what went down in this issue. And I'm sure everybody already knows what I'm going to talk about. But with that being said, I'm still not going to spoil it because I have actually spoke to a few people who have not yet, who when I talk to them, they have yet to have read this book, and I'm trying my best not to blow my yap too much about what goes on here. Okay, let me try. So you think to yourself, okay, you see the cover. That's Massacre. That's a villain that the Amazing Spider-Man once took down, and that's when Peter at that time decreed, that as long as he is Spider-Man, no one dies. That's when he made that infamously stupid statement when he dealt with Massacre here. And I gotta tell you, Dan Slott, you did a magnificent job painting a portrait of just how much of a bastard this guy is. And also got to give props to Giuseppe Camuncoli for the great artwork. The artwork in here was fantastic. But this guy, Massacre, God, how he breaks out of jail was brilliant. I've seen it done that way before, but it was nice to see it that way instead of just a random jailbreak due to plot convenience or whatever. Instead, we get a very well manipulated plan, and ooh, it's a nasty breakout too. It's not exactly original, but there are some tweaks to it there are some tweaks to the breakout to make it seem original. I'll try to make sense out of what I just said there. But this guy is a real total bastard. I mean, he holds up a fast food joint and shoots everybody because they didn't have the kind of soda that he likes to drink. And some poor kid happened to push the silent alarm just based on just reflex. And he catches the kid pushing the alarm, and he's like, you shouldn't have done that. Now I'm going to have to shoot everybody. I'm like, what a bastard. And this dude really tortures his victims. And I'm going to leave it at that when it comes to Massacre. We're getting more and more of Doc Ock's complete arrogance, as both Peter and Spider-Man in here. But I'm sure everybody wants to know my comments about the end of the book. Excuse me a minute. God damn it. Yes. He's back. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. I'm not... That last page... Oh my God! I have been waiting for this motherfucker to show back up for the past, 4 or 5 years? How long's it been? Jesus! I'm gonna leave it at that. Last page. God damn it. Moving along. We're gonna end Marvel with X Factor 252. This is unfortunately the first issue of X Factor to sadly acknowledge Peter David's stroke. God bless you, Peter David. Get well soon. Hope for a speedy recovery, man. We're all fans and we all love you. This is part 3 of the Hell on Earth War. I don't know what to think about this. I mean, it continues to get good. It continues to stay good, excuse me. Still one of the best X-Men related titles on the shelf. I'm still saying that. And, for a guy like me to come up here and constantly say he's getting burned out on all this hellfire and all these hell stories and all that shit, for a guy like me, this was still pretty damn impressive. I mean, Peter David could still nail it. There's not nearly as much, there's not hardly any comedy in here at all. This is pure balls to the wall action and drama, and it's done very, very well. And there's a couple of jaw droppers in here. Oh yeah, really big jaw droppers. and I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not dare gonna ruin either one of them. And the last page, oh God, Peter, why do you keep doing this to me? Why are you such a master at cliffhangers? Damn it! I swear nobody can pull off a cliffhanger better than Peter David. Damn! I gotta read the next issue. That's all I'm gonna say about this. God bless you, Peter David. Jesus! You are just a master at the jaw-dropping moments and cliffhangers up in that series. Moving on. We're going to go to DC. Starting DC off with Batwoman, number 17. J.H. Williams III, W. Hayden Blackman. Phenomenal. Just simply phenomenal. This is the conclusion of the World's Finest series. It consists of, the team up of Batwoman and Wonder Woman. And it ends really well. Ends really well. I mean, the dialogue, the monologuing in here is just fantastic. And it was so well. I felt so relieved to see Bet come back. After the near death after nearly dying when she was doing one of her last rounds as Flamebird, she has now come back as a new character. She is now known as Hawk Flame, and I love her. I love her new costume. It's great. I mean, it doesn't completely look original, but I'm liking it. And she was able to hold her own this time against the same exact freak that nearly killed her. That was awesome. Some more good dialogue with Batwoman. The drama was all here. The tension. It was just like that. And yeah. And when Wonder Woman and when Diana and Kate wrapped things up, Kate I loved how they defeated Medusa. Just great stuff. I mean, what's the best way to defeat a person that can look at you and turn you into stone? Think about it. There you go. I mean, great way to end that fight. Simple. Could have been done ages ago, but it was leading up. This feud built up, and it was built up well. Very nicely done. Kate and Diana come to an understanding, and they resolve everything. There's actually two endings to this book. Not one, but two. The first ending, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it, okay? Because I'm sure everybody already knows now. Because it's been blaring all over the internet. First ending. Kate runs into her girlfriend, Maggie, or her Mags. She tells her, in her own way, that it's her. She's Batwoman. She proposes to her. Nice. Further developing the character to the next stage. Nice work. Nice work, Mr. Williams. Second ending. A surprising return that I will not spoil. I spoiled the first ending, but I'm only gonna half spoil the second ending. A surprising return and a startling revelation about another character in the supporting cast of this series. Very, very interesting. I am ready to see where they go from here involving the second ending. The first ending, I already know where it's going. It's going to happiness and further developing the characters. And I have no beef with that. I'm all for it. But I'm more interested in where DC's going to go with what I saw in the second ending. Wow. Simply wow. This book was fantastic. I don't like to spoil Batwoman too much. But in this case, I kind of felt like I had to. This was great. Do yourselves a favor and stick with Batwoman. Awesome stuff. Alright, next up. Birds of Prey, number 17. Dwayne Straczynski, Romano Milanar. They continue to do some good stuff here. I love the artwork in here. Black Canary loses control. This is basically the aftermath of what's going down for the team after Black Canary's Canary Cry goes haywire and nearly destroys everything. And this right here was a good issue for anybody who's a fan of this particular Talon, Strix. I believe that's what Barbara's calling her. This is basically Strix's ultimate test to see if she belongs on this team. And she passes, of course. At least I'm relieved at that. We get some more development. We get some more character development from Starling, who I absolutely adore. Her last name's Crawford, just like mine. Wonder if she's related to me. Starling would be an awesome cousin. That's just a thought. We both share the same last name, and I love it. But we're getting some more character development from Starling, but it's in secrecy. And I'm sure everybody already knows this by now, but she's been in secret contact with Amanda Waller. Now, what her deal is completely with Amanda Waller, that we still don't know. We still don't know how deep this relationship is with Waller. We don't even know when it started. We don't know how big in debt Starling is to Waller. We have no idea. And for right now, it should stay that way. We don't need a big reveal right off the bat. Everybody seems to act pretty well in character. You know, even Barbara, even though I was sorely convinced that nobody could write Barbara better than Gail Simone. But, you know, I always had a second choice in mind as to who could write Barbara about almost as well as Gail, and I would probably say Brian Q. Miller. I'd like to see Brian Miller write for this series. That's just something I would personally like to see. But yeah, the Birds of Prey, they're swimming in shit creek without paddles, with one arm basically, but they still managed to pull through and get through it okay, thanks in big part to Starling, apparently, so she claims. And the issue ends with them all walking away and Starling's wanting some alcohol. Perfect ending, isn't it? This is good. This was really good. I wouldn't say it was perfect. I'd say stick with Birds of Prey. It's a great series. I really think it's earned its appeal. I love it. I love it. And now for the second time, DC hammers us with a triple shot of Green Lantern books. I'm going to start with Green Lantern number 17. Wrath of the First Lantern begins here. Jeff Johns, Doug Mahnke. Oh. Okay. Y'all know how I've been kind of hating on Jeff Johns here lately, saying how much he's slipping and everything. Okay. I'll give Johns credit here. This was actually pretty good. I really do think this was pretty good. Good storytelling. I mean, I personally got some personal satisfaction out of seeing the Guardians get imprisoned and seeing one particular Guardian get tortured by the First Lantern. And I think it's fully deserved after all the shit he's done. But we get a peek at the First Lantern's backstory and how he came to be. We get a small peek at it. And we get to see two of the Guardians back when they looked like regular beings before they shrank and got big heads. Yeah, but still, I guess I gave this book more credit because I got to see those blue-faced motherfuckers finally get some of their own medicine. And it was good. This is really, really good stuff. I still think the Guardians should be dead right now because of the Rise of the Third Army conclusion should have ended that way, and I would have started the Wrath of the First Lantern series with the First Lantern just messing with the Lanterns. You know, that's how I would have wrote it. That's how I would have started this story, but DC has other plans, obviously. But for what it's worth, this was actually pretty good. For what it's worth. We get to see if the First Lantern does... Because when I first read this, I'm thinking maybe could this First Lantern have the ability to change events in the past? That's what I thought when I read this. And then when I got to the other two books, I'm starting to think otherwise. But for this, the story was actually pretty good. And it ends on another one of those kind of dun-dun-dun kind of cliffhangers. And I'm immediately sensing the next couple issues of this series is going to have some more of that Jeff Johns bullshit logic to where a Green Lantern can literally do anything. Even if it goes against the character development or if it goes against the logic of a fictional character like the Green Lanterns. But this was good for what it was worth. I did enjoy it. Now, I'm going to do a double shot of this one. Green Lantern Corps and Green Lantern New Guardians, issues number 17 of each series, of each book. Now, the reason why I'm going to review these both at the same time is because this was basically the same story. Okay? This is part 2, and this is part 3 of Wrath of the First Lantern. Now, when you look at Green Lantern Corps, it's basically the First Lantern messing with Guy Gardner, showing him events from his past, and then twisting some of it to where the outcome is bad. And in here, it's basically the same story, except instead of Guy Gardner, it's Kyle Rayner. Both books had a similar style of storytelling. It was basically the same story, just with two different lanterns. The First Lantern comes in. The First Lantern's got a hold of them. He's messing with them, showing them events of their past, changing them just to mess with their minds and mess with their emotions. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the stuff, in my opinion, the Green Lantern Corps book was a little bit better. Because Guy Gardner really came off more like an underdog, whereas Kyle Rayner, a little bit similar, I just like the storytelling of Corps a little bit better. That's just my opinion. But that's pretty much it. Both stories basically told the same way, just with two different guys. That's pretty much it. But they were both really good books. Do not get me wrong. They were both really good. It's just kind of hard to review them separately when they were both basically the same thing. It's just, I'm just trying to keep it real. We're going to end this with Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 17. Scott Lobdell, Adrian Saif. Oh my God. This was a surprise. This was a surprise. This book didn't hardly any action at all. There was some, but just not that much. But storytelling-wise, in my opinion, storytelling-wise, this might be the strongest issue of the entire series. The storytelling was that good. Jason and the Outlaws are, collecting themselves, and everything's getting wrapped up after the death of the family story ended. This is the aftermath of Death of the Family. And it's nice to see that, even after all that stuff they went through, they're still not getting along. Damian and Jason still butt heads. And when Arsenal and Corey, Starfire, when they show up, it's a happy reunion for Corey and Jason. But Damian and Arsenal, it ain't pretty. I mean, it's just... And... Oh, I gotta chuckle out of this. Damian looks at Roy and he says, What's with the stupid trucker hat? What's your name? Redneck Man? Oh, I loved that. I loved that. I fucking hate that stupid trucker hat. It makes Arsenal look like a bad superhero from the 90s. It is just horrible. And what I also liked about this book, there's a hint in here. There's some storytelling in here that suggests that Nightwing and Starfire's relationship might have actually happened in the New 52. You know, because when this series started, I was starting to think that DC might have retconned that out of continuity. But I'm starting to believe now that, Dick and Corey, they might have, their relationship might have actually happened in the New 52, because there's a moment in here that really convinces me of that. But I'm sure everybody wants to hear what my thoughts are about the ending. The Joker's parting gift to Jason Todd. Now, I'm going to go into this. Now, this is probably going to have some spoilers, okay? But I'm going to give you my opinion on this. Jason's putting his mask on after a pretty damn good scene between him and Batman in the Batcave. But Jason's about to leave. He puts his hood on. He sees the Joker. Sees a hologram of the Joker talking to him. He says, well, let's try and start with a clean slate, okay? And his mask goes, psst. And the last page is Batman surrounded by the family holding Jason Todd. And the cliffhanger at the end says, next issue, Jason Todd, this was your life. Now, a lot of people started instantly thinking that Jason Todd got killed off. No, I don't believe that. I think it was a good tease that, Jason Todd might have been killed off, but what I'm guessing, I haven't read any solicits for the next couple issues, okay? So I'm just guessing on here. What my guess is that the Joker used some sort of chemical gas on Jason Todd to erase Jason's memories. And, basically just wipe his mind clean of almost pretty much everything. And when I'm assuming that in the next couple issues, Jason's going to wake up, not remember who he is, or what he was. Basically, it's just an Etch-a-Sketch. Erase it, start over. That's what I'm thinking it is. Was Jason Todd killed off? No. I don't believe that for a minute. I mean, the book did a decent job of teasing us, making us possibly believe that happened, but nah, I call bullshit. Jason's not dead. If they were going to kill him off, if they were going to kill Jason Todd off, trust me, they would have had Joker kill him off during Death of the Family. They wouldn't have waited until after the dilemma was over with and then kill him off afterward. No. If Joker was going to kill him, he would have killed him. Trust me, he would have. He's done it before. He would have had no problem doing it again. So, no, I do not believe Jason Todd is dead. I just think his mind might have gotten white and basically just restart his character from scratch. Hit the reset button, if you will. So that's what I think. This was a great issue. Great stuff. I usually give Scott Lobdell a bunch of shit, but in my opinion, storytelling-wise, this was without a doubt, in my opinion, the strongest issue of the series. And I really think you got to check this out. Even though I just spoiled the ending. Well, that's all I got for this week, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed it. Once again, I apologize for being late. Big shout out and big apologies to Dark Avenger Inc. Plus for not being at the live show, but I'm still giving y'all as much as I can. Plugging y'all here. Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. Check them out. Subscribe to their channels. Follow them on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter or on Tumblr. Twitter at Blugoblin01. Tumblr just Blugoblin. Follow me here on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel Blugoblin01 and Blugoblin X. Those are my channels. Don't forget about my student, TheMtVernonKid. Thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, I will see y'all later.